The Meddlesome Meeples present the Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
I think if you enjoy RPGs, if you are maybe a Descent player, then this is probably something that's going to be right up your alley, because it's got a different feel and look to it. If you dislike the Lovecraft theme as well, but you like some of the Lovecraft games, I think this again is going to be just a ticket for you.
It's kind of steampunk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very unique in that sense. It's kind of like a steampunk fantasy Lovecraftian mesh, isn't it, really? But it uses quite a lot of similar mechanics to something like Descent. If you play a scenario and you win, you move on to the next. If you play a scenario and you lose, you still move on to the next. It just changes which scenario you go to.
Did we win?
We won.
Yeah,
we won.
I seem to remember us winning. It was a little while ago that we played this now, and I wasn't feeling all that well that day, but I still loved the game.
Yeah.
And I think that is quite a testimony to the game.
I'm going to come straight out and say this. This is one of the most gorgeous boards I've played on.
Yes, it is a massive map, isn't it?
And you get different tests to do during the game, and these work very much like the Descent tests, which is you have a stat, you roll, and you're looking for that stat or lower to pass. Each character will have some skills on the right hand side column of their character card, and those are different abilities that they can use once they meet certain requirement.
Yeah, so it's got like a lock symbol on one side, which is basically the condition you need to be in to be able to use it. Like my first one says you have no dream shards left, so if I didn't have any, then the other side, an open padlock, is like what you can do in that situation.
Again, beautiful artwork on the cards.
Yeah.
Really love the steampunk type art. I really like the way it played. I like the mechanics, the way it worked. And it introduces some unique mechanics each different scenario as well, so that it's never going to be the same thing. In fact, according to the makers of this game, there's over 400 hours of content without replaying.
That is a lot of Tuesdays.
That is a lot of Tuesdays. There's also a couple of expansions that you can get, like the Adventurers Kit and Horror Hunters, that adds even more content to the game. So, all in all, this is a very beautiful game to play. It plays well. It's got some really good mechanics. This one definitely gets a recommendation from me.
It's nice to have one that actually does feel like it plays differently.
I did have one negative about the game, and this is me being a little bit finicky, but I think for other people it may be more or less of an issue.
Can we put up a finicky warning before you say it?
Yeah, hashtag finicky. And that was to do, as I said, the map is absolutely gorgeous. But the markings that show different territories in certain lights, because it's almost like they've taken a background so that you can get the full splendour of the map. But the lines that mark out which space is what,
They're like dotted lines, aren't they?
Yeah, and in certain lights, from certain angles, it can be quite difficult to tell which space is connected to which. That is partly a lighting issue, partly that it's not the lines aren't very strongly appearing on the map. But if they were, I think it would have spoilt the look of the map, so I didn't really mind.
Yeah,
it just meant that I kind of had to like lean over and try and sometimes move a little bit just to get a better angle to see the map from.
Yeah, well, some of the corners were a little bit difficult to see which bit was in which little space, wasn't it?
It was more, I think, where one corner met several.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, some of them were like little crossroads.
Some were easier to tell, but it was all some of the little angled bits on the map and things that made it more difficult to see.
One of the things I liked about the spaces on the map was the fact that they were all different sizes.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to have any kind of mechanic about, it's harder to go across mountains than it is across fields, or the forest makes it more difficult, because if the terrain's difficult, basically the squares will just be smaller. It takes you more movement turns to get across it.
And if you follow the road...
the road is a long, thin square. So you're just like, I'm there, woo, and I'm in another place. So yeah, I thought that was quite good. But
it was very nicely done, that mechanic.
It was, yeah. But I see what you mean, yeah, the spaces were a little bit difficult to see where they actually were sometimes.
So this one gets a Meeple recommendation. It's Dreamwars by Royal Art Games.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.